Hello, OTSL round 5 against Aidan Archer from Australia. So we had some difficulties scheduling this match due to time zone differences, but we eventually did it. And I like the starting hand. It's only 15 points, but I have Europe scoring and I have Marshall Plan, helpful to score Europe decently. I don't have socialist governments and Suez the goal these cards, so it's not that straightforward. And but I will go for it anyway. Because the scoring is worth it. I don't like how it's all cutting here. I have to hold US-Japan for blockade, but other than that, even a purge isn't as hurtful here. Vietnam revolts. This may be hurtful if he has Asia scoring, but this couldn't be helped anyway. The main problem is if I have to fix Europe, I don't really have good cards to do it. Because I'm kinda sorta lacking ops, I don't have playable 3 ops card and the only 4 op card should be held to blockade. Yeah, as expected. This, let it go first. Or fight for Middle East. Let it go first. Upon him cooing now, I want to have time to fix Lebanon and attack Thailand. I think I'll even intervene Nasser. Maybe I could just play US-Japan now that Europe is scored, and if he blockades me, oh well, I'll just put something in West Germany to be able to take it, or at least threaten with Truman. Richie. It's gonna be tough to fight for Asia now. Let's focus on other regions. Maybe no. Let's score this first. Ooh, so you had this one. Okay. I need 3 ops in Asia to equalize it. Middle East. And I think this is the time to play these ops. Now that Middle East is scored. This blockade triggers me a little. Okay, if he plays blockade, I'll let it go and put 2 in West Germany and 2 here. Or should I activate NORAD? If I get special relationship, it should be worth. Okay, I think I couldn't help Middle East. I also couldn't really help Asia because the combo of Vietnam revolts and attack and cover was too strong. I scored Europe, which couldn't be better. So, okay, after Asia scoring it's -3 because... Ooh! I wasn't the only one with rich hand. Okay, so basically I could fight for Asia only here and breaking something, but I'd rather play here to be able to break South Korea with NORAD. Oh, I got special relationship. Actually, I didn't get any better headline than special relationship. But Suez Crisis. Costs me 2 victory points, which I don't want to give up. So let it be this way. Now if he coups, I get NORAD to South Korea, and it allows me playing Asia scoring for free. I have the only 4-op remaining. He may have Suez, he may have the goal. Warsaw Pact is not the biggest deal ever. Distal is a hold card or blockade discard card. Korean War to space. I hope to avoid decall, because his decall would make Asian domination unstoppable, even with the help of Norad. Important cards to remember, of course: blockade, well, Romanian Truman, Fidel CIA 5-year plan, of course, decall defectors, far less important, Comic-Con. There's Arab-Israeli war somewhere. Did I mention US? I believe I did. The goal, Indo-Paki, and it's a blockade. Okay. Oh, I'm going first. I wonder what made him headline blockade, actually. This is hardly ever a good headline. Comic-Con with a coup. Allowing me to score Asia for only 2 points. But losing Egypt, so it is hurtful. So for the rest of the hand, Korean War to space, special relationship to France, and for 2 VPs. All the other cards for ups. I should probably take Africa with nuclear test ban and go to Colombia. I'd like to coup twice there, or at least once with independent Reds. I hope he doesn't have decall. He has defectors, and yep, Middle East looks quite deadly. Now Asia doesn't look good as well, and I have no access to Western Asia. So I think let's do what must be done. Actually, Korean War is no longer as important to space as it was. Romanian for a coup. Only emptying. So let's attempt some more. Hoping to have a juicy counter coup with Warsaw Pact formed. I have nothing to counter, so Let's grab this until I have time. My next move probably Saharan states and Colombia. Or maybe it's worth spacing this Korean War and playing Saharan states, Colombia and Cameroon with Warsaw Pact formed on the very last action round. Well, Asia and Middle East look quite bad, but the rest of the world looks quite promising. And well, I am USA, so this is kinda sorta expected on this stage of the game. I discarded Distal and it may return. I hadn't seen Decall so far. Fidel CIA, yeah. 5-year plan. And yes, I'm losing 2 victory points from military operations, but as you probably saw, I had no real options to gain these military operations. He cleared Colombia twice. Of course, no complaining about him rolling 2s or 1s or coup attempts. I rather complain what happened here in the Middle East. He got CIA. And several other cards like Decall. I got, what did I get? Can Middle East get any better than that? I doubt it. Okay, I have 2 possible headlines, Middle East or 5-year plan. I'll go for Middle East, because if he attacks Europe, I need 5-year plan points to fix it. Romanian abdication, so it looks like he counts on Distal, or he really doesn't have many better headlines. About my... CIA of course. Decall in the Paki containment, Formosan Comic-Con UN intervention. Okay then. Cool or not cool? One, two, three, four, five. If I'm not going, he is going, and I have no rat. And what does this NORAD give me? Well, I could protect some African countries and hope for some access here, but I can't get any access here even upon the highest coup. So let it be here. And his counter was not that bad. So I have to count on my counter here and give up Nigeria. Or trigger coups, counter coups. At the very worst, trigger Korean War, because all other cards... Okay, I could use 5-year plan, but... It was good. Because now I can protect France, Nigeria, and put some extra here. I think he can't take Europe scoring from my hand. So I'll be able to space Korean War Tisto and place US crisis for 4 ops at the very last action round. I'm lacking action rounds suddenly. I have to counter decall. Wherever it goes. Of course, countering 1 stops at first place. But that's not that bad. Of course, CIA off the deck is not a good news. But I can't build my whole position upon DEFCON hopes. So once Europe is scored, I can even ignore fixing Europe with Suez Crisis and go elsewhere. Now my main problem is time. And I'm not meaning the clock, I'm meaning the action rounds counter. I have 3 more and I should score, space and make use of containment. So, as I said, score. I'm facing some crisis because I have to counter the effects of whatever he plays. Oh, I got containment that fast. What's left in your hand? UN intervention and Formosan resolution. Okay, let's get rid of this one. This was anti-realignment setup, but I don't think it was a good call. Algeria is still vulnerable to NORAD. 1, 2. To avoid it being taken in a single action round. Yeah, maybe 3 and 4. So now the Korean War question remains. I think I can afford it, because even if he takes South Korea, okay, it's 0-9 and hopeless to ever retake, but it doesn't change outcome of Asia. Breaking South Korea with NORAD doesn't change it as well. And these 3 ops may be used for things like taking Mexico and solidifying Panama. Colombia was attempted so many times in this game that I think it doesn't want to be taken this way. So he held UN intervention and overprotected Algeria. This makes sense. And this was lucky, so summarizing, I ended up with +1, and we start the mid-war. And I don't like what I see in my hand at the start of the mid-war. Longanman, Che, Willy Brandt, Muslim Revolution. Good news, Muslim Revolution is free. Let it go. With long gunman I'll have to wait for Kennedy, I guess. Or for Cuban Missile Crisis, maybe. Che costs me Africa, but should be recoverable. Ugh. Very good, I hadn't headline long gunman, but still. I don't get NORAD. Woo. He wasn't too lucky with his coup. This is something. So now, long gunman, the obvious hold card. Distal, the obvious space. Assuming I get another space, Willy Brandt or Che? I think Che, but it may turn out that I can't. Now I'm glad he rolled poor enough to not deny me access to Colombia. I'm not really sure what I should do, so let's start from spacing bad cards. One attempt failed, so it's certainly worth to perform another one. I don't really care about Kennedy giving me option to discard what I'm just spacing, because I want to go forward in space anyway. So Central America scored. We can start focusing on some other regions like South America. I should play Muslim soon, before it stops being free, but I also should have a free 4-ops card to play when I need it. So South America, Asia, Africa are the scorings left. Three in total. Right. Increasing chances of my success in the end of cooing there. Yeah, I could go with Muslims, but I want to be more flexible. My hand cooing and giving Romania. Oh, come on. Are you gonna always empty it? I don't care about meal-ups because I will have them sooner or later, because I have Tunisia and Costa Rica. But I'd really like to be in Colombia. Whew. And this was what I was waiting for. I can do better than that. And over controlling here, always useful. I don't need controlling West Germany now, so I don't think I'll put any points there from Willy Brandt. So Willy Brandt is gonna give me my meal-ups in Tunisia, I guess so, or in Colombia, because that's unclear. If he coups Colombia now, I will try to counter-coup. And then summit. Ooh. You're playing high. Okay, because you're playing there. In Ecuador. It's pointless to counter this. Right there. I didn't expect it, I must say it honestly. Couing Ecuador with a 4-up. But suddenly it starts looking not that bad. He didn't use the China card even once. He has UN intervention. And he has a "we will bury you", yet leaving me a juicy counter-coup target. So Africa scoring. How I learned? John Paul. I think bear trap. If he succeeds on first attempt, I play long gunman and sacrifice maybe even African domination, although I don't see it, because I will dominate Africa even if he flips Zaire. Okay, not any longer. If he flips Zaire, I will need to take Angola, and I will be able to do it because I have Narat. Of course, knowing my hand, he may easily fight country by country and maybe even dominate Africa. But getting rid of long gunman was worth it. Puppets will take South America for me. Probably. And well, it won't look good but after OPEC and Asia scoring, all things may only get better since now. I think so, because of course brush war. Place influence. Now, you know what? I will do something else. I will coup Saharan states and use NORAD in Angola. Now, upon a direct flipping of Nigeria or Angola, I'm still not dominated in Africa, and I can risk realignings or just score it. Of course, he may play the China card to flip Nigeria and put one in Saharan states, or use another card to do the same. Apparently he didn't. So now the question remains, should I realign Angola or not? I think I shouldn't now, because he knows too much about my hand. Algeria I meant, of course, and I have too poor hand, and I should make use of the remaining cards to take South America before he does it. And then I can realign Africa. So you have the Asia scoring, and you are going to control Asia. Not much I can do about it. So let's just hope for grain sales, Voice of America, and so on. Of course, he doesn't have grain sales now. He doesn't also have Voice of America now, because otherwise he wouldn't have used colonial rear guards to get rid of bear trap. In the meantime, let's do things like this. How I learned a hold card. Asia is worth 13. Yeah. Okay, so 2 Asias are gonna kill me. 1 is gonna go now. This couldn't be helped, I feel. So I have to hope for good comebacks and good order of the remaining scoring cards. For example, no red scare plus grain sales may be a devastating combo. I mean, red scare in my hand, grain sales in his. Asia was unfriendly for me from the beginning of the game. And yes, I risked to some extent by not attempting to take it, but well. Okay, I like this one. I mean, I like this event in general, but I don't like that he had this card and controlled it, and that he earned 1 victory point. I think I'll space, hoping to roll enough to see his headline. But okay, I'm done discarding. I got defectors, so maybe no spacing. Yeah, no spacing it is. Let's perform a coup and earn some points. I could use how I learned for this purpose, but I don't want to set DEFCON very high. Okay, this is a very good hand. So now I should make the best of it. The problem is his AR1 degrading DEFCON. Missile Envy doesn't allow him queuing with a 4-up in hell. ABM treaty is something I would rather not see, but if I do, not a big deal. I can't help it, I mean. Otherwise, even if he coups the best with Missile Envy, I have the Voice of America. I mean queuing Brazil or Venezuela or Argentina. And I have the help of NORAD. Maybe Alliance for Progress is even boostable. 5-year plan is discarded, so he can't play it to discard South America scoring if he has it. The only remaining scoring. I could theoretically purge him, but I feel I'll need these ops to solidify my positions in certain places. Where is Fidel? Not here and not here. So now some combos with OPEC and something are problems. Other than that, Alliance for Progress for the rescue, and let's hope for the proper scorings returning, because there will be a reshuffle. The card I wouldn't certainly want to see now is Quagmire, because none of my cards is really good to discard. I don't have any Soviet cards in my hand. Plus, Norad is a great card. Brezhnev, who? Okay. This changes things a little, because now if he rolls a 6 against Brazil or Argentina, he gets 3 there, and I can't deny him access with Voice of America. But if I get to playoffs, I may either coup, denying him this option, or over control. If he gives me a 3, I will never be sure whether he has a 4 or not, because he calculates as cards as boosted by Brezhnev Doctrine. Cuban Missile Crisis, so I don't get NORAD. Woohoo! In this case, let's do things like that. Now how I learned to stop worrying, putting Defcon at 5 could be very nice. Points taken from arms race, from duck and cover, and mill-ups in the end, I think. But no rush so far. I think he doesn't have Quagmire, and I think he doesn't have OPEC. Should I boost Alliance for Progress in Panama? I eventually should have time to play all these cards. East European Unrest is a good one to play for ops. Okay, I guess I won't be able to cash Cuban Missile Crisis. Maybe I should have could Nicaragua now. To be able to cash arms race. Yeah, perhaps. It was weird to take Lebanon because he didn't take Cuba, and there aren't many cards I would like to discard. Okay, maybe Quagmire and Aidan. No Sadat, Camp David. Of course, Middle East presence is worth by itself. About points, I should go to Lebanon, and I should take West Germany. There's a time to do it now. Where the third op should go. Yeah, I think Chile. So arms race, Alliance for Progress. And now the question remains, Red Scare or Duck and Cover to hold for the 7th turn. He doesn't have grain sales, I assume, because it would be a space candidate. Actually, OAS needn't have to be spaced. He could have repaired it by itself. What I'm afraid of is that he doesn't have South America scoring. We had this. So, okay. Let's try to be lucky. Maybe not. Quagmire. Yeah. Well, let's try to be points-wise. And then Algeria for realignments first. Panama if I'm lucky enough to have some more. And Duck and Cover is the card, because with him seeing my headline, I don't like to. Ooh. At least this worked. I don't like to headline Duck and Cover. Good enough. Okay, so I got South America scorings, I got ABM Treaty and Red Scare. I don't like to give any of them to Missile Envy, but first of all, I don't like him to coup. So grain sales to Soviets is as obvious headline as it could be. If I get Missile Envy, my event triggers first, so at least I could decide. South America scoring 8 points in my favor. Asia, Middle East and OPEC. These are things I'm scared about. But with South America in my hand, he shouldn't get enough to auto victory. Socialist governments and minorities gone for a while. Cards he has: Ussuri River Skirmish. After triggering grain sales, maybe it's worth to purge him soon. Okay. This was quite nasty, but this was even nastier. Look, he can dominate Central America. Yep. By placing one here, one here. Taking into account that he has Ussuri in his hand, I think it's worth to red scare him. He plays the entire hand. And he's unable to space Ussuri. Not really clear about the hold card. Yeah, you may wonder why didn't I return Nasser, but he'd like to play it anyway, and he could have held a card had I done it. Now he can't hold any card. So assuming he doesn't space Ussuri now, it's quite worth purging him. Of my cards, Quagmire and D-Star are unplayable. Actually, in this order. D-Star is no longer a very tough card. Of his card, OPEC hurts. And Aidan, of course. Shell diplomacy. But he now no longer controls Asia. So what about purging him? What was I talking about it? Maybe it's not worth. Maybe it's worth holding for the next turn. Let's cash this, because this won't get any better. Upon his attempt to control Central America, I will make use of ABM Treaty. Yes, this was predictable. It's my turn to space as well. Successful, so he can no longer see my headlines. Maybe I can hold red score and stall my playing salt, grabbing Usuri or grabbing grain sales. Decisions, dilemmas, and so on. Still hurts. Flopo. But Africa is still dominated by me. Okay, let's cash this 1 point. Now Asia, Middle East, hurtful places. I would open gun once for good. So where can I set up good realignment options? I think I can't. But I can roll high enough. So that Central America suddenly looks good. And salt grabbing ABM allows me make use of NORAD yet one more time. Preparing more realignments. Actually maybe 2 times, because DEFCON rises once, drop, and ABM again drop. And he should drop DEFCON to secure Thailand from cooing. So maybe he faces some difficulties in his hand now. I think he has socialist governments. He has Fidel. And I can't really recall what else. Comic-Con? Yeah, Comic-Con was played on turn 3, I believe. Yep. course, no DEFCON suicides. Yeah, it was a fiddle. Maybe I can't recall what he has, because he drew something like Africa scoring. Oh yes, of course, Aidan. It was. So I won't be using you, my friend. Not for the event, at least. Maybe I should have played Red Scar Perch and purely take it. So distal for hold card. Red Scar Perch to repair the damage did here. I should have remembered Aidan, but other than that I recalled quite nice what he had. Okay. 2 scorings, not necessarily the 2 I wanted. So what should I headline? The problem is that Central America can easily get worse. After his headline, plus he has cards like Aldrich Ames. If he destroys Central America in his headline, I can't do much about it, so let's risk it. He doesn't. He destroys Africa. Plus Middle East must be mitigated before it gets within the Wargames losing margin. South African unrest. Giving him 0 in Africa. Our money in Tehran is now far better than it would be when he decided to space it. I can't space decall, so I have to live with it. Glasnost for a coup, and it was a big one. Okay, so I have to give it to you, because I see what's about to happen here. What this allows me is holding 2 cards. The problem is, if he now flips Angola, I may have tough time fighting for Africa, because he rolled too good against Nigeria. Maybe there comes a time when I desperately need 5-year plan event this turn, and a hope. So many bad cards. I can't really count on avoiding playing Middle East scoring. And I guess I can't count on Middle East scoring being better than now. It may be worse, but the problem is I should delay it anyway. Due to all the war games things. Well, we are at 0 comparing to what he had once in this game. It's really great. But still, it's now so much dependent on the order of the scorings. So I need a lucky Arman in Tehran. I probably can't play arms race for the event, because he easily gets one more military operation. Well, there's a tough time for me. I hope it's a tough time for him as well. Another problem is I can't count on war games now that I have Middle East scoring. So what I should count on is the final scoring, and doesn't really look very good. Of the remaining scorings, only Europe offers something meaningful to me, but well. This was an empty event. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I didn't like what I saw here. Discard Marine Barracks bombing. What about terrorism? No. Okay, not very lucky. I thought I misplayed something when I saw this waiting for opponent to decide. Oh. Okay. Let's attempt here. Oh, and it was a decent roll, actually. If he counters, at least it's clear what to do with arms race. He did. No. Why not simply put all in Israel? It's one more point from here. Doesn't have a DEFCON suicide card, because otherwise he would have spaced it. An unconditional DEFCON like duck and cover or Soviet shutdown call. So I think I can play 5-year plan safely. Hoping for Africa and Europe come to the rescue. So what are the options? Maybe some Chernobyl and Europe combo. Although East European unrest is gone. AWACS for a coup. And this equalizes Middle East actually due to shuttle diplomacy. Okay, it brings it to -1, but that's not a very big deal. The bigger deal is Africa. After his coup or flip, he dominates there. Ugh. But he keeps on failing rolls like this. And of course a big deal is now Asia. No longer protected with shuttle diplomacy, but it was a big deal anyway. So nothing really changed now. And the big deal is his discarding option from space race. And him being close to 4 points from space race. If I say survive until the final scoring, there's a mere chance that I'm winning this game. Otherwise, I'm not surviving until the final scoring. Okay, some lucky combo may bring it to Wargames victory, but it would have to be a very lucky combo. I can't even really count on DEFCON now, because he will have the China card, he will have the discard privilege, and my best bet is terrorism and grain sales, because I can't purge him. Purchase in the deck, Salt is in the deck. There were some decisions to make in this game, and maybe some of them were made suboptimally by me. Whatever to say, he's certainly not the fastest player in the world. But probably this is why he's playing OTSL with the default time limit 90 minutes per game per player rather than 60 minutes from ATSL. He's certainly not going to lose the game on time anyway. So that's it. About this card. Why is it so slow? I hate it when I see waiting for opponent to decide and my clock is running. Oh, network connection lost. How nice. Now, is it worth to lose Norad just to unboost? The Reformer and try and catch him into "We will bury you"? Well, yes it is. Ortiga for direct Cuba taking, and we'll go to the final scoring, hoping to not lose earlier. Nixon slightly helpful. Ooh, no longer help from my hand. I think I'll say goodbye to Junta. Or to Nixon. Or even to Distal, which is a potential 1 VP gainer. And I think I'll have to trigger Decall, which I certainly don't like. I hate seeing me having such poor ops hands. Now he may safely perform some ops wars and I can't help it. Well, the chances I'm winning this game are about 10, maybe 15% now. Because I'll have to survive to the final scoring and make the board good enough to score favorably for me. And Americas are more flippy than Asia is. Plus Asia hasn't been scored while Americas were. It was slightly unlucky that Southeast Asia was the only scoring, South America was the only scoring waiting to turn 7, but that's this game. I didn't like some of his moves, but in general he played quite nice. We'll bury you. Oh yeah. Exactly what I was scared about. And even a cooing doesn't really help. But that was annoying. So, don't fight for what's unrecoverable, namely Africa now. Let's focus on what's recoverable, namely Central America now. Junta to Cuba and realigning Mexico may establish a long-term control of Central America. Chernobyl gone. Europe can't really be much better than it is now. So only some African hopes. Okay, maybe the Voice of America for the very last action round is of some help. Although I doubt it, because he's certainly able to over-control Asia enough. He already has over-controls in several Middle Eastern countries. Voice of America is the killer, but maybe not enough. The meal-ups I needed. Yuri and Samantha go last. The only good news is that now I don't really have to care about decal so much, because it's reparable in South Africa and Algeria. While it boosts elsewhere, I may ignore this fact. I shouldn't ignore the fact that Kitchen Debates wasn't active as an event. But I also can't really help it. The question about distal, should I space it or should I let it go? Terrorism influence. +2 and +1. Yes. I think he's wasting his firepower now by investing efforts in a scored and rather meaningless region where he can't really count on too much in the long run, except of course his AR1 coup next turn. Okay, now I got a moment of breath. So let's try to regain something. Ooh, not enough. Failure. Europe, Asia. I hardly ever see such a bad Asia. It would be funny to get Latin American death squads and trigger it just to see Ecuador with 10. That's what I was talking about, and what couldn't be helped. And what was annoying, because oh come on, damn it, because he was seeing my hand. So the final scoring remains my only chance now. And to do it, I must really rely on the last turn hand. Yes, his discard time. Oh no, Voice of America, my last chance, really. And I got Asia scoring. So even Truman isn't helpful now. Oh. Okay, I'm glad it's me who drew Reformer. But still. Outreach gone, terrorism gone, so no way for me to avoid scoring Asia. And after scoring it, plus the final scoring, it's completely impossible for me to save. Even if I flip Africa. Besides, in Africa, what do I have? After nuclear subs, Truman has to go to West Germany. So the Iron Lady, Latin American debt crisis, Iran-Contra scandal, Iran-Iraqi war. I think that's too few attempts to do anything meaningful the Reformer unplayable. All the other cards are slightly playable, of course except Asia scoring, but I will have to trigger it no matter what. I can't really count on a spectacularly good draw from his hand for Missile Envy. Okay, if I got Indo-Pakistani war, this would be great, because this would show that he has a very poor hand. Plus gave me chance to make some mess in Asia. Successful Indo-Pakistani roll. Would be a 10 VP swing. So DEFCON is impossible. My DEFCON victory. I can still commit some DEFCON suicide. Although I think this is impossible as well, unless he headlines things like tear down this wall and waits for my decision before he plays duck and cover. No, duck and cover I believe is here as well. No, it's not, so I miscalculated the turns. So already in advance, thank you for watching, and see you next time. How I learned, okay, but how you learned to stop worrying. I think he moves to 2. Avoid activating NORAD. In which case I think I am activating nuclear subs. Oh, war games I got. Okay. Missile Envy for a coup. A non-battleground one in Colombia. Okay. Let's event nuclear subs. Attempting to regain Africa with this and this. Of course it's futile, but at least maybe he's tempted to do something wrong. Now even grain sales wouldn't be a DEFCON suicide from his hand, except some duck and covers or calls, but he doesn't have call as well, so it's basically over. But it's gonna be over in the final scoring. I think I'm not losing the game now. On turn 10 I will make it to the final scoring and then lose by well, by multiple. So let's start with this. And roll a 1 when it was very important to roll high. Panama. Yep. At least this was decent. So my very last action round should probably be the Iron Lady attempting to coup Panama. Israeli. Yeah, this Zaire is quite nicely played by him. North Zero space race and succeeded, and yet another 6 points, making the game potentially even losable on turn 10. No space race. Coup attempting Panama? No. Only a 3. Only a 3. Of course, it's impossible that he holds the scoring card, so holding Asia scoring on my side would be completely pointless. So, it is important when exactly are the games ending, because turn 10 ending counts higher than the final scoring ending, but I have to try it anyway, hoping that Iran-Contra Scandal rolls good enough against Panama. Not that it really matters. So, thank you for watching and see you next time. Just one more play from him, one more play from me, and he can even decide whether he discards his remaining card or not. And it was good enough for him to win the game.